All right, good morning, everybody. And obviously, big week. Guys, you brought the right mentality out to the practice field today. It was fast, it was physical. Trying to challenge the emotion to what's going to be necessary, but also the focus that is going to be necessary for us to be able to go and play our best game. It's going to be a hostile environment. I think we're trying to create as much tension throughout the course of practice. And I thought guys had some great teachable moments. But I thought they brought the right attitude out to practice. So, questions?
All right. You guys tried to change some things going on the road last week to try to get some points offensively. The result
didn't work as
didn't
like
happen.
didn't work as we wanted.
Did you feel like those changes you're on the right track and it just didn't happen, or because there were some throws that were just maybe just not completed, or are there more things you guys are looking at?
No, I mean there's still things that we're always evaluating, and I mean you want the immediate result, and we want that to be fixed. And there's some things that we did better, in certain instances, but ultimately it's still about points on the board and getting stops and making sure that when you get opportunities to make plays that you finish and you capitalize on that. We're continuing to challenge the as I mentioned yesterday, the focus issues where you allow the distractions, whatever they might be. We have to have that corrected, and it's been a direct correlation to our success. And obviously going on the road, it just adds more dynamics to things that can get you, I guess, worked up, or whatever that whatever can keep you from, whether it's seeing a signal, cadence, the reaction to a situation. So all those things we're continuing to challenge. It's a constant process for growth, and I mean every team is different. There's things that, like I said, I've done throughout my coaching career, and that have worked really well. And then obviously we have not seen good enough application on the road for us playing our best game. So I mean that's what our focus is, and that's what we're working to go do.
Two-part question, but all about running back. A couple weeks ago, you said Chroma would be more of a focus at the position. Why hasn't that necessarily been the case? Secondly, why has rotation been such a thing there?
I think that each game has its flow of where it's going. There's certain things that we want to put our guys in the best position to go be successful. He's had some opportunities, especially with Ooze, that some things that are out of control. Whether it's a read that the defense is focused to take him away and opens up opportunities for quarterback. That's happened a few times with him. So we'll continue to push, and you get to go earn it in practice, and you show the confidence of everything that you need to do. And you obviously coaches, we got to do a great job of being able to put guys in those positions to allow them to make plays. And I think when you look at that room, I mean it's a good room, good balance of abilities, talents. Some guys are probably a little further along in certain areas, maybe certain concepts of what they are, of what they're being asked to do. And once again, we're trying to put guys in the best position for us to have success.
Brenda, a 2-for-1, both about
4 for 2.
So 1,000 yards for him this season, and before the year began, like you talked about his professionalism and his work ethic. Now kind of seeing that manifest throughout the season, I guess how impressive has that been? And then secondly, like if you guys talk about potential of him returning for next season, I'm sure he's going to be on the track for him.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm really pleased with his growth, and he came in, a young man that had great potential. I think his work ethic. I think Coach Harris done a great job with him. I think that the push of what he's asked to do, and just to him rising to the challenge of that are all things that have allowed him to have success that he's had. And I said it, I think I might have said it the other day, continue to say it. I still think he's just scratching the surface to where I think he can go. There's plenty of things in his game that I know where he's going to continue to improve. And for all decisions of what somebody's going to do, what it's going to look like. They're after a season, they'll be after the season. I know he's really happy here. I know he's happy with the progress that he's seen. We'll kind of see where that goes.
Corey, kind of along those same lines, I know you said you're just solely focused on Saturday, and I get that, but the timetable is so sped up where the recruiting class is 5 days after that, the portal opens up after that, there's might be staff changes or staff additions. How much are you doing that now to get like
No, I mean it's a constant. There's a constant focus of that. I mean, we've been recruiting throughout the entire year, and that's the recruitment. We've had multiple OVs throughout games. You have to have all your focus to the game. Make sure you're putting for the team of putting guys in the best position to be successful. You have all focus on the program to make sure that you're setting things up for today and the future of what we need and what it's going to look like. So it's a good balance, and part of and I'll say that it's part of my role of where it is within two sides of the ball. I mean, I get a chance to really go back and forth, but also get to carve out time of things that I need to do program wise too. Yesterday I was able to have a lot of individual players that that came by and got a chance to sit and visit with them about just different experiences that they're going through. And then if there's things that that I'm looking at, big picture. I mean, that's been through the course of the season as well. And areas where we can improve, we can get better. All things that could potentially be there, just so that we're ready. When that moment hits.
You talked about evaluating things constantly. Is there a way to evaluate your own communication, like the things you've said throughout your career, and maybe they've worked with certain teams or certain stances?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
How often does that evolve, and what do you need to do?
No, I mean, for me, it's there's your core characteristics, core values of things that I don't care where you are, I don't care what team it is, that you have to have a focus on. And I believe that just as to grow into a man, to be the best that you can be, you're going to face a lot of different challenges, and how you respond to those they're going to dictate where you go, and that will always be the same. And you can get caught up looking all the way down the road, but if you're not all in on where you are in the moment and trying to make that the best it can be, it's not going to work out for you. And so, like, those things are core principles that I don't care what team. It's trying to help build men. It's trying to help build a program and guys just being the best that they can. But there's every message, whether it's a weekly focus, whether it's we have they change. Obviously trying to meet guys at where they are. I mean, everybody's at a different spot in their journey. I don't coach every individual the exact same way. I don't coach. Sometimes even coaches are, have their different, ways of operating. So that's it. It's ever changing, and it's been ever changing for 20 years that I've been a coach. Whether it was my first year, of how I communicated to where I'm now, still about meeting, the player, the staff member, the situation, exactly where it is, and then with just an unbelievable passion to help it get better, to improve, to grow, to be what it can. So that's an ever changing process, but it's something that's always been.
Leah, I know you talked about him a couple weeks ago at a senior night, but Darryl is most likely playing his last game for this program on the road. What has he meant to you, and the journey that he's gone through to become the player that he is, and just kind of stay the course on that?
I mean, Darryl's. He's a remarkable person, remarkable player. I think coming out of that last game was one of the few games where he was, mostly single blocked, and you saw the production that he was able to have, and he's a selfless individual in the fact that he's willing to give all that he can to help better those that are around him, and he's a great representative of this program, and excited for all things that are ahead, and excited to watch him play Saturday.
Chris, in responding to Corey a couple questions ago, you said you're always considering big picture items. Specific to this year, what are some of the things that you've kind of landed on while thinking about that all these past 11 months as things have changed?
Well, just making sure that in every capacity, whether it's, on the field, off the field, helping make sure that, the personnel structure, operation of, that we're as efficient as we can, we're as effective as we can, that we have, all things that are going to allow us, and I can provide all things that allow us to be as competitive as possible in every situation, in the games, in our development of our players, of the people that we're recruiting to come here, and making sure that we're as aligned and coordinated in our approach as it can possibly be. And, like I said, there's been a lot of changes in college football over the last, 3 years. I mean, but even specifically to this year, there's some monumental changes of just what we have control over, and the effects of that, when it comes to a roster, a team, and just where it is and where you want it to go. So, I'm looking at all different elements when it comes to that, and obviously it takes a good amount of time, but obviously a great deal of investment from everybody to make it happen.
Brenda, following up on Ira's question, like when you're thinking about messaging to players, or even something like just core philosophies for pros, do you have like a support system of people you talk to or bounce ideas off? Like, who are those people? I know you're leading.
Yeah, I have a lifetime of relationships of people that I can go to, but experiences that I've had, and there's people that I talk to within staff, out of staff. So, yes.
Coach Ford has got a pretty versatile running back, Jaden Ball. He's got, I think, 33 catches, a little over 900 yards. Just what kind of challenges is that versatility bring? What have you seen on film?
Yeah, he's a great football player. He's, you turn on film and he stands out. Probably as one of the better football players we played this year. Just I'm really impressed with his versatility. You don't realize with how well he moves just how big he is. And you better put your pads on him. You got to get him stopped before he gets started. He can do really all things. You see him in a return game. You see him catching the ball in the backfield. He's a really impressive player that obviously is a big focus for us. Trying to keep him contained, but with all the different things he does, that's challenging.
All right. You guys have players doing community service and coaches all the time, but for Daryl and Micah to kind of host, right, invest our own money into like giving away turkeys and things for Thanksgiving, just what does it say about them, and what does it mean to you as a coach?
It means everything, and one of those core values of what this program is. It starts with service. We want to have a football team that is able to give all that they have to help impact others, and those guys are a living example of that. You got plenty of guys that throughout the course of the years that might not always get the attention because we don't send cameras with everybody where they go, but there's a lot of wonderful things being done from this football team, helping impact this community, and guys, whether it's here, whether it's back in their own hometowns. We got some wonderful young men on this team, and when you get to see that, when you get to just observe the genuineness of their heart and the joy that they get out of just making somebody's day, or maybe filling somebody's belly on Thanksgiving by giving away turkeys, or whatever moment they pour into others. It is really special.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.